This is huge. Erica just announced that she is 8 weeks pregnant with what would be her third baby with Charlie Kirk. Only problem is that Charlie died 10 weeks ago. The numbers just don't add up. The story is gaining huge traction online as people speculate on who the father could be.
Never replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD. Yes, I do. I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear.
However, coupled with the fact that J.D. Vance's wife seems to have taken off her wedding ring, it seems obvious.
I was praying to God that I was pregnant when he got murdered.
Oh, wow. I thought of that.
Stop scrolling, because what you're about to hear will make your jaw drop. Erica Kirk, the widow everyone thought was grieving quietly, just collapsed in court, and the reason behind it? J.D. Vance is demanding a DNA test, and yes, Mikey McCoy's name is being thrown into the fire as the possible father. Can you even believe this? The timing, the secrecy, the emotional chaos. It's the kind of story that makes tabloids look like bedtime stories. Weeks of whispers, cryptic social media posts, and suspicious interactions all pointed to something brewing behind closed doors. But nobody was prepared for this nuclear-level scandal. Was Erica really hiding something? Or is this the ultimate betrayal story unfolding right in front of our eyes? And J.D. Vance, why is he suddenly at the center of the storm? Every clip, every handshake, every lingering gaze is being dissected frame by frame, and the internet has officially lost it. Fans, insiders, and keyboard detectives alike are piecing together timelines like it's a true crime documentary, and the conclusions are explosive. Tonight, we're diving deep. Every secret, every lie, every shocking revelation will be laid bare. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why nobody will ever look at Erica, JD, or Mikey the same way again. Alright, buckle up, because if you thought celebrity scandals were wild, you haven't seen anything yet. Erica Kirk, the widow everyone assumed was quietly grieving, is now at the center of a storm so intense it could melt the internet. Collapsing in court wasn't just an emotional breakdown, it was a full-blown spectacle, the kind that sends shockwaves across every social platform, thread, and gossip channel imaginable. And let's not forget, this isn't happening in isolation. Standing right behind her in this chaos is J.D. Vance, demanding a DNA test that could rewrite every single narrative we thought we knew about the Kirk household. Oh, and yes, Mikey McCoy's name is now swirling through the rumor mill like gasoline on a wildfire. The signs were there if you knew where to look. Subtle gestures, delayed responses, inexplicable absences, and an emotional intensity that didn't quite add up. Erica's social media, once the picture of stoic widowhood, suddenly became a puzzle no one could ignore. Her interactions with J.D. Vance, friendly? Supportive? Innocent? Sure, or maybe not. And Mikey McCoy, the seemingly loyal colleague, has now been thrust into the eye of a storm he probably didn't even know was coming. You see, this isn't just about who might have fathered a child. It's about trust, betrayal, timing, and the unraveling of a carefully curated public image. Sources close to the inner circle, anonymous, naturally, because nobody wants to be the next target of the public backlash, claim Erica had been acting unusually confident and even strategic in recent weeks. She wasn't just grieving quietly, she was maneuvering in ways that suggested awareness of something bigger than any of us could have guessed. It's like she knew the storm was coming, and she was trying to brace herself, one insider said. Another added, "I've never seen someone who seems so poised on the surface, while underneath, it's a different world entirely." And that's just the tip of the iceberg. J.D. Vance, for his part, has shifted from a quiet observer to an aggressive participant in the unfolding drama. Demanding a DNA test isn't just a procedural move, it's a public declaration, a challenge, a provocation that essentially says, "We're done with the speculation. The truth is coming, and nobody can stop it." Meanwhile, social media detectives, yes, the same people who once believed every celebrity breakup was scripted, have gone into overdrive, analyzing every clip, every live stream, and every lingering glance between Erica, JD, and Mikey McCoy. What they've uncovered is nothing short of scandalous. Timelines that overlap perfectly with the alleged conception, body language that screams intimacy, and interactions that, in hindsight, appear highly suspicious. The court collapse? Oh, that wasn't just dramatic flair, it was strategic theater, whether intentional or not. The cameras captured Erica's trembling hands, the subtle quiver in her voice, the barely contained panic behind her eyes. But while the internet reels in shock, insiders whisper about what happened before the cameras even rolled. Conversations, closed-door meetings, and secret messages paint a picture of tension, mistrust, and a calculated scramble to control the narrative. People underestimate how orchestrated some of this is, one former volunteer said. It's like watching a chess game, but the pieces are all human emotions, reputations, and careers. And indeed, in a world where perception can be weaponized as easily as evidence, this scandal is a masterclass in chaos. Let's backtrack for context because you can't understand the explosion happening today without seeing how it all started. Erica's public demeanor post-Charlie Kirk's death was unusual, to say the least. Calm, composed, almost eerily collected. Viewers dissected every clip of her appearances, noting how quickly she returned to public life, how she handled condolences, and how her tones seemed rehearsed, too polished for someone who supposedly just lost the love of her life. That's when the first whispers began. Was this grief? Or was this a calculated front? Candace Owens' involvement is the spark that ignited the wildfire. She didn't shout. She didn't scream. She delivered her revelations with precision, care, and an undercurrent of rage that's almost palpable. Candace revealed private conversations, subtle observations, and intimate confessions from Charlie Kirk himself. And what was the takeaway? Charlie, according to Owens, had been worried about betrayal in his own home, felt emotional distance from Erica, and had contemplated a DNA test months before his death. The pieces suddenly start to fit together. Fans and online detectives took it from there. Videos resurfaced, timelines were mapped, and body language experts, self-proclaimed, of course, jumped into the fray. The court collapse, the DNA test demand, and Mikey McCoy's alleged involvement aren't isolated incidents. They're the culmination of months of tension, secrecy, and hidden truths finally bubbling to the surface. And while Erica may have appeared poised for the cameras, offline sources suggest she panicked, strategized, and tried to contain the situation, all while knowing the storm couldn't be stopped. The public reaction has been volcanic. Social media exploded with speculation, outrage, and intense curiosity. Memes, threads, and viral posts dissecting Erica's every move flooded platforms overnight. Comment sections became arenas where theory clashed with observation, and every tiny detail, her smile, a pause, the way she held her hands, was scrutinized like a piece of damning evidence. Online sleuths argue timelines, question loyalties, and debate intentions like courtrooms have been transplanted into Twitter and TikTok feeds. And the more people dig, the darker the story becomes. Now, the involvement of J.D. Vance and Mikey McCoy adds layers of intrigue. Vance's demands for transparency are not subtle. He's essentially challenging Erica in front of the world, making the DNA test a symbol of accountability. Mikey McCoy, who previously had a neutral public persona, is now tied to allegations that could destroy careers, reputations, and personal relationships. Suddenly, what looked like a private matter is now front-page drama, and everyone with a pulse online is paying attention. And here's the kicker. While most people are trying to piece together what happened in the past, insiders hint that the future implications are even scarier. Legal battles, emotional fallout, and potential public exposure of private secrets are all on the horizon. Erica's court collapse isn't just a moment of vulnerability. It's the opening move in a high-stakes game of public perception, private fears, and strategic positioning. And if you think this story is over, think again. The next moves by Erica, JD, Mikey, and even Candace will determine whether this scandal burns out or erupts into something much larger. If part 1 felt like the calm before the storm, buckle up, because part 2 is the storm itself. The moment Erica Kirk collapsed in court, The internet went into overdrive, dissecting every second of video footage, every facial twitch, every hand gesture. People weren't just watching, they were investigating, analyzing body language like FBI profilers, connecting dots that most of us would have missed. And what they found? Well, it's messy, controversial, and downright explosive. Let's start with social media's reaction, because the digital court of public opinion waits for no one. Clips of Erica trembling, attempting to compose herself, and exchanging glances with JD Vance flooded every platform. Comments exploded into theories, accusations, and, let's be honest, a fair share of memes. She's hiding something, one viral post read. It's all a performance, another commented. And then there were the timeline analysts, feverishly lining up social media activity, public appearances, and court dates to piece together the alleged 8-week pregnancy timeline. The internet, as usual, didn't disappoint. What started as speculation quickly transformed into full-blown detective work, complete with screenshots, slowed-down video clips, and timestamp comparisons. Sources claiming anonymity, because let's face it, nobody wants to be the next target of this digital lynch mob, shared some of the most shocking behind-the-scenes details. Erica's behavior changed weeks before the court appearance, one insider said. She became guarded, careful with her words, almost like she was preparing for something everyone else would only discover later. Another added, JD was pacing constantly. He wasn't just demanding a DNA test, he was making sure everyone knew he wasn't taking this lightly. He wanted transparency, and the court drama was only the beginning. Meanwhile, the infamous Mikey McCoy, previously a background player in the Kirk saga, suddenly became a key figure in this emotional thriller. According to our faceless insiders, his interactions with Erica over the past 2 months were far more than professional. Warm touches, lingering conversations, and subtle displays of closeness were captured in clips that went viral faster than any official court release. The internet quickly dubbed these micro-moments of betrayal, scrutinizing every movement frame by frame. Was it innocent camaraderie? Maybe. But the pattern, timing, and intensity have now made Mikey one of the central players in a story that has captivated millions. Let's pause for a moment. Think about it. A widow collapsing in court, a politician demanding a DNA test, and a third-party colleague exposed as potentially involved in something deeply personal. That's not just news. That's a political, social, and emotional earthquake, all rolled into one. People are hungry for answers, desperate to understand how a situation that seemed private spiraled into a national conversation about trust, betrayal, and the fragility of public personas. And the leaked documents? Oh, they are delicious. Faceless insiders claim there are private messages from Charlie Kirk himself, expressing doubts, fears, and an increasing sense of isolation. He was scared, one source said. Not just about the future, but about the people around him. He felt betrayed, emotionally distanced, and completely unsure who he could trust. These aren't just texts. These are digital breadcrumbs, a trail of anxiety and suspicion that suddenly makes every interaction Erica had in the weeks before his death feel far more suspicious. The court collapse footage has been slowed down and analyzed ad nauseum. Viewers notice subtle things. The way Erica's hands trembled, how her voice cracked at specific questions, the pauses she took before answering. Every micro-expression became a piece of the puzzle. Was she just overwhelmed by grief? Or was there something darker? Something that the public hadn't seen before? The weight of secrets too big to hide any longer? And then there's JD Vance's role. Publicly, he demanded a DNA test, framing it as a matter of clarity and transparency. Behind the scenes, according to anonymous sources, he was orchestrating a meticulous investigation, gathering timelines, video evidence, and witness statements. Every late-night call, every urgent meeting, and every cryptic social media post was part of a strategy designed to expose the truth, no matter how explosive. JD is not just participating, he's leading the charge, a former volunteer said. He's calculated, precise, and he knows exactly how this will unfold. Public reaction has been wild. Hashtags demanding answers trended worldwide. Twitter threads broke into multiple subthreads, each focusing on a specific moment. Erica's hug with JD, her private conversations with Mikey, her court statements, and, of course, the timeline aligning perfectly with the alleged 8-week pregnancy. Comments ranged from outright condemnation to wild speculation. "If this isn't the biggest betrayal story of the year, I don't know what is," one viral comment read. "She's not just hiding something, she's running from it." Another user tweeted, "The DNA test isn't just about biology, it's about trust, loyalty, and integrity." And Erica failed all three. Even the faceless journalist community weighed in. Anonymous whistleblowers confirmed that Charlie had been documenting everything meticulously, voice memos, notes, and private messages detailing what he suspected. He wasn't paranoid. He was methodical. And now, after his death, those documents are a ticking time bomb. Candace Owens hinted that she has access to this treasure trove, which explains the rising panic among Erica, JD, and anyone else involved. The fear of exposure, according to sources, is palpable. Adding to the drama, legal maneuvers only amplified suspicion. Erica's attempt to secure a restraining order against Candace Owens backfired spectacularly. Instead of protecting her, it ignited public curiosity and cast doubt on her innocence. "If she's clean, why not speak out?" social media users demanded. Instead, silence, tears, and evasive answers became her public narrative, fueling the perception that she had something to hide. The digital courtroom was brutal, and every misstep, every hesitation, every failed PR statement was analyzed like evidence in a high-profile trial. Meanwhile, footage of Mikey McCoy resurfacing at past events, interacting warmly with Erica, displaying gestures that were previously dismissed, suddenly took on ominous undertones. "It's like watching a slow-motion revelation," one social media commentator said. "Everything you thought was innocent now seems calculated. Everything looks like a piece of a puzzle no one expected to see." And with JD Vance making waves, publicly and privately, the stakes couldn't be higher. Every move Erica makes is scrutinized, and every reaction becomes evidence, or at least a potential headline. Public forums have erupted with timeline reconstructions. Users piece together appearances, speeches, and social media posts to map out the exact moments when Erica allegedly shifted emotionally, when JD's involvement intensified, and when Mikey McCoy appeared in close proximity. The alignment is uncanny. The so-called 8-week pregnancy timeline intersects perfectly with shifts in Erica's demeanor, JD's rising activity, and Charlie's documented fears. Coincidence? The internet doesn't think so. The psychological impact is also enormous. Watching Erica crumble, knowing that millions are dissecting every movement, creates a tension that's almost unbearable. And yet, part of the scandal's explosive nature is that it feeds on itself. The more people dig, the more secrets they unearth. The more secrets emerge, the more they analyze. It's a vicious cycle, and the public can't look away. Every whisper, every leak, and every social media post becomes fuel for the fire. And we haven't even touched on the speculative layers. Financial motivations, professional rivalries, and political ambitions all appear to be woven into this tapestry. According to anonymous reports, there are whispers that certain decisions made by Erica and JD could have long-term implications on careers, influence, and power within their circles. Add Candace Owens into the mix, the woman who refuses to stay silent and wields Charlie's private trust like a sword, and you have a recipe for scandalous chaos the internet can't handle. Erica Kirk's courtroom collapse didn't just make headlines. It shattered reputations, ignited public fury, and set off a chain reaction that no PR team, spin doctor, or legal advisor could control. Overnight, hashtags demanding answers trended worldwide. Twitter threads exploded with speculation, Instagram stories filled with theories, and TikTok clips dissected every frame of Erica's trembling hands, JD Vance's tense expressions, and Mikey McCoy's too close for comfort glances. Legal experts weighed in with alarming predictions. Anonymous attorneys told faceless journalists that Erica could face serious repercussions if the alleged 8-week pregnancy and DNA revelations are true, and even if they aren't, her attempt to silence Candace Owens via restraining order could backfire in unprecedented ways. The court will see through the theatrics, one insider said. Once the public sees your actions contradict your words, your credibility is gone. It's that simple. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance has positioned himself as the relentless pursuer of truth. Behind closed doors, insiders claim he's coordinating with legal teams, media outlets, and even former colleagues of Charlie Kirk to piece together the final puzzle. His demands for a DNA test aren't just procedural, they're strategic. Sources suggest that he's aware of the timing, the evidence, and the emotional undertones, and he's making sure the public sees the full picture. Every court appearance, every subtle press statement, every calculated interaction has been designed to maximize pressure on Erica while maintaining his image as the concerned, responsible figure in the scandal. The fallout on social media has been relentless. Fans dissect every post Erica makes, searching for signs of guilt, fear, or avoidance. Every story she posts, every interview clip, every social media response is magnified, slowed down, and analyzed. Comments range from sympathetic to outright accusatory. She's breaking down because she's guilty. One viral post claimed, "No one cries like that just from grief." Another user commented. And the internet didn't stop there. Memes, GIFs, and reaction compilations spread like wildfire, turning a legal and emotional crisis into digital theater. Meanwhile, Mikey McCoy, once a background figure, is now center stage in a narrative he never asked to be part of. Clips of him interacting with Erica resurfaced, scrutinized for micro-expressions, body language, and tone. Faceless insiders allege that he might have known more than he revealed, and that his private communications with Erica could be critical pieces of the scandal. Mikey wasn't just a bystander, one anonymous source said. He's part of the emotional puzzle. Every hug, every word, every gesture counts, and right now they're all under a microscope. The media frenzy doesn't stop at social media. Traditional news outlets picked up the story, framing it as a national scandal of betrayal, secrecy, and emotional manipulation. Headlines screamed about court collapses, DNA tests, and political implications. Interviews with anonymous insiders added fuel to the fire, painting a picture of a widow whose public composure contrasts sharply with private panic, a politician seeking truth, and a third-party colleague implicated in a potentially explosive secret. Every angle has been covered, every rumor amplified, and the public is left to connect the dots themselves, which, as we know, often leads to wild speculation. Public reaction has also taken a legal and political turn. Advocacy groups, online watchdogs, and even celebrity commentators have joined the conversation. Many are calling for transparency, demanding access to court records, and pressing for a full disclosure of Charlie Kirk's private communications. The public has a right to know the truth, one activist tweeted. If betrayal happened, justice must follow. If rumors are false, silence is no longer an option. Accountability is everything. Inside sources reveal a tense battle behind the scenes. Erica reportedly consulted top-tier legal teams to manage the fallout, while J.D. Vance's team meticulously collected evidence, reviewed court transcripts, and coordinated media strategy. Candace Owens, still a wild card in this drama, has made it clear she's willing to release more information if pressured. According to insiders, she holds Charlie's notes, voice memos, and private messages, documents that could confirm suspicions, exonerate certain parties, or completely rewrite the narrative. The tension escalated when leaked audio from Charlie's final conversations surfaced online. In these recordings, his voice is shaky, exhausted, and filled with worry. He expresses fear not just of personal betrayal, but of the emotional and physical distance creeping into his life. He mentions noticing strange behaviors, late-night conversations, and gestures from people he trusted. The chilling part? He documents these concerns meticulously, leaving behind a trail that the public and J.D. Vance are now following with surgical precision. Social media detectives didn't waste time. They correlated Charlie's voice memos with Erica's public appearances, J.D. Vance's private meetings, and Mikey McCoy's interactions, building a timeline that aligns uncannily with the alleged 8-week pregnancy window. Each connection adds weight to the story, intensifying public scrutiny. Every late-night post, every unusual smile, every subtle gesture is now interpreted as part of a larger, emotionally charged narrative. The emotional fallout is staggering. Viewers watching Erica struggle in court have polarized into factions. Some empathize, believing she's overwhelmed by grief. Others condemn, convinced she's hiding the truth. J.D. Vance is seen by many as the steadfast, determined truth seeker, though some question his timing and motives. Mikey McCoy, now unavoidably part of the narrative, is caught in the crossfire, with every interaction re-examined. The public isn't just watching, they're participating, theorizing, and shaping the perception of guilt, innocence, and betrayal. The legal implications could be monumental. If the DNA test confirms J.D. Vance is the father, questions arise about emotional betrayal, deception, and public image management. Could Erica face civil consequences? Could there be ramifications for political allies or associates implicated in covering up the timeline? While nothing is confirmed, speculation alone has ignited a frenzy of conjecture and fear. Every lawyer, media personality, and gossip commentator has weighed in, predicting scenarios that range from courtroom drama to public resignations. The scandal also exposes deep contradictions in public statements. Erica's initial silence, her restraining order against Candace Owens, and then her request for cameras in the courtroom send mixed signals. J.D. Vance's calculated calls for transparency contrast sharply with Erica's defensive measures. And Candace Owens' persistence as the holder of Charlie Kirk's private evidence keeps everyone on edge. Every action, every statement, every non-statement is analyzed for motive, intent, and hidden meaning. The psychological toll on Erica is visible. Sources claim she has been crying, panicking, and struggling to maintain composure, even in private. Her attempts to control the narrative, the public scrutiny, and the court proceedings appear to have only magnified her distress, reinforcing the public perception that she has something to hide. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance's calm but persistent approach suggests a strategic patience. He's willing to let the evidence speak for itself, and the public is paying attention. By now, the public isn't asking simple questions, they're asking existential ones. Who is truly innocent? Who is hiding what? What does this say about trust, loyalty, and the fragility of public perception? How much of what we see is grief, and how much is deception? And perhaps most chillingly, will the truth ever be fully revealed, or will it remain fragmented in leaked clips, viral videos, and anonymous testimonies? So now, after everything you've just seen, you have to ask yourself, what really happened behind closed doors? Who was honest? Who was hiding secrets? And most importantly, who's going to face the consequences for this betrayal? Erica Kirk's courtroom meltdown, J.D. Vance's relentless pursuit of truth, and the shadow of Mikey McCoy hovering over every frame, it's all pointing to one thing: the story is far from over, and the world is watching. But here's the thing, the only way the truth will fully come out is if we stay alert, we stay questioning, and we don't let the narrative be spun by PR statements or political cover-ups. Every clip you've seen, every leaked conversation, every subtle glance matters. And you, yes you, are part of this digital investigation. Comment your thoughts. Share your theories. Debate what you believe and don't believe. Was this a calculated betrayal? A tragic misunderstanding? Or something far darker? The internet is the new courtroom, and your voice matters. And don't just sit there. Make sure you're ready for the next chapter. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and be the first to see every explosive update as it happens. Because trust me, the story isn't slowing down. There are secrets yet to be revealed, files yet to be exposed, and questions that will shake the internet even further. If you believe Charlie Kirk deserves justice, if you believe lies should never outlive the man who tried to expose them, if you want the truth to come out, don't stay silent. Like, comment, and share this video with everyone you know. This isn't just gossip, it's a revelation, and the world deserves to know. The next chapter is coming, and you do not want to miss it. Stay tuned, stay skeptical, and stay watching.